Hello everybody and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today for a video that is unlike what I normally post on my YouTube. For normally I do gaming type videos and the like, but I've been wanting to expand my YouTube for the longest time now. And of course, if you can't tell by the title, what we're going to be talking about today is, what is Digimon? Now this is actually something that people who watch my TikTok will be very familiar with, as I do a lot of videos based around Digimon, and it's also something that I promised to bring to my YouTube, and it is today that I start doing that. So let's talk about what is Digimon. Now Digimon is an interesting multi-asset franchise that was created by Bandai Namco as an offshoot to their successful vpet toy line Tamagotchi, which was originally released in 1996. Now, Digimon, which was a concept created to be a masculine toy line comparative to the feminine toy line of Tamagotchi, which was the marketing terminology for the time within the 90s, was originally conceptualized by three individuals: Akiyoshi Hongo, Kenji Watanabe, and Tenya Yabuno. These three individuals brought Digimon to life in 1997 with the very first vpet, Digital Monsters, as well as the one-shot manga created to promote the vpet, Come On Digimon, the Monster Caper Bun, I believe is what it was called. Sorry, the Capering Monster Bun. I do apologize, I made that mistake. But that is the name of this particular manga. And interesting enough, in this manga, the main character, the main protagonist, Keimon Kentaro, is actually the inspiration for the design of a character that we all know very well, at the very least, fans of Digimon know very well, which is Tai Kamiya. And now it was the success of the launch of Digital Monsters in 1997 that allowed for Bandai Namco to expand the franchise, creating two other generations with a worldwide release in 1998. That allowed for us here in the States to be able to experience this particular franchise, which the name Digital Monsters was shortened to Digimon for the sake of marketing. And it was thanks to the success of the worldwide release that allowed for this franchise to continue to expand, with the very first manga series release known as Digimon Adventure V-Tamer 01, authored by Hiroshi Izawa. And it was thanks to the continuous success of this particular franchise that in 1999, the anime began production for Digimon Adventure. And it was actually originally slated to be a short film and was later turned into a series after the storyboard was finished. And it was published and produced by Toei Animation, who has been the animation studios for Digimon since 1999. Now, the Digimon Adventure first debuted on air in Japan in March 7th of 1999, and it was later within the States that we were able to watch it in the release of it with Fox Kids in August of 1999. Now, along with the vpet and the multitude of toys that they released for Digimon and the manga and anime, there was also the Digimon trading card game, which was released in the same year as the launch of the very first vpet, which was in 1997. Another interesting thing to note about the Digimon TCG is that during its release, it was actually tied into the third series of the Digimon anime, which also tied it into the toy line with the Detector, allowing for there being further integration of the franchise with all of its assets. Another interesting way that they tie in all of their franchises together involves the games in this multi-asset franchise, which there are a multitude of games that have been released for Digimon, such as the very first game released, which was the Digimon World game released in 1999 for the PlayStation in Japan, and also subsequently released in North America in 2000 for the PlayStation. Now, there are other series that were also started within the games, such as the Digimon Story series, which started with the Digimon World DS game released in Japan of June 15th of 2006, and in North America of November 7th of 2006, which was released on the Nintendo DS system. And these games were a interesting window into parts of the story that we didn't get with the anime or with any of the mangas. One of those interesting tidbits comes from the Digimon Adventure game series, which was only released on the Wonder Swan and the Wonder Swan Color. The first game being released in 1999, known as Digimon Adventure Anode and Cathode Tamer, with the second game being released in 2000, being known as Digimon Tag Tamers, which actually took place within the setting of Digimon Adventure 02. And the final game being released in 2001 for the Wonder Swan Color, known as Digimon Tamers Brave Tamer, which featured the final part of Ryo Akiyama's story. And one of the greatest things about these particular games were they had connectability with the vpet toys that were released in those times. With the Anode and Cathode Tamer originally for the Wonder Swan that was in black and white, you could use the original block style vpets. And with the Wonder Swan Color version, you could actually use upwards of the D3 Digivice on that game. The fact that we don't have that in modern day games, to be honest, in my opinion, is a little bit sad. Now that we've covered the assets that make up this multi-asset franchise that is known as Digimon, aka Digital Monsters, let's talk about the premise and the concept of what Digital Monsters is. Now, as I stated in the very beginning, Digimon was an offshoot off of Tamagotchi, which was the first successful vpet toy line created by Bandai Namco in 1996, and it was essentially translated to Egg Watch. And the premise of Tamagotchi essentially was duplicated into Digimon with different sprite designs, but the premise was essentially the same. You started off with an egg, it hatched into a little baby monster, and it would develop into a multitude of different stages depending on how you cared for your little vpet. And this is the basic premise of the vpet toy line for both Tamagotchi and for Digimon. Now, as I showed earlier in the video, the vpets were released in several different versions, and the versions all had a multitude of different colors, and also were each with their own unique set of Digimon and digivolutions attached to each vpet, which meant that if you wanted a variety of Digimon or all of them, you would have to purchase a multitude of the different versions and colors of the vpets. Now, when the vpet toy line was first released, the actual flagship Digimon design for the promotion of this toy line was actually Tyrannomon. This was the first truly canonized design for a Digimon that was showcased in full color on the product package. And this was the first official designed Digimon other than what was featured within Come On Digimon, which is actually different than what most people may be familiar with being the flagship iconic idol Digimon for the series, which is Greymon and Agumon. And it was from these vpets that we actually got the very first window into what was going to be the beginnings of the lore of Digital Monsters as a whole. The premise and world of Digimon would begin to grow with the release of the Digimon Adventure V-Tamers 01 series, which was written by Hiroshi Izawa. And it was thanks to Digimon Adventure V-Tamer 01 that we actually got a window into what Digimon was. Originally starting off with the toy itself featured in the manga as what was known as a dog, which actually grew in popularity within this story as a toy that would become popularized enough to create a league for competition-based battles. And eventually leads us into learning about the existence of a digital world and digital life forms that exist in this world known as Digimon. These unique life forms which live on the digital plane are more than simply just programs. They are conscious living beings with a unique bond to humanity that allows for them to gain strength and power from bonds that they share with unique individuals that would become known as Digidestined. And thus the story and foundation of Digimon was born within this story of humanity, chosen individuals, Digidestined, bonding with a world that was colliding with their own, a digital world that was of their own creation, that had life unknown to all humanity, but had a bond that was undeniable. And from this came a multitude of amazing stories and amazing characters that have so much to talk about and so much to explore. And I truly hope that you will join me as we continue to explore more Digimon lore. Within this video, I wanted to talk about what is Digimon as a franchise and the premise of Digimon within its stories, which was essentially to allow for us to explore the bounds of human imagination and to understand that that imagination has no true limitations. Thank you so much for joining me for this very first special video about what is Digimon. I hope y'all enjoyed, and if you did, please do like and comment down below, and of course, subscribe for more. It's time to roll credits, my friends. Well, that's another video down. Thank you all so much for joining me. I really do appreciate y'all. And of course, if anybody does want to continue to support me and help me in making better quality videos, as well as making my dream of becoming a content creator come true, please do check out the links over here that will show you how you can support me. There's Twitch, there's Patreon, there's these other links on my Linktree, and of course, I appreciate every single one of y'all. Alrighty then, have a great one. The love train, going on through. Choo choo. I love every single freaking one of you.